Destiny 2 in the past month dropped an update that introduced a lot of content to the game for completely free. It's called Into the Light, which is intended to be a little special something for us to do while we wait for the upcoming expansion called The Final Shape, which releases in June. For those unfamiliar, Destiny is a game that has PvE activities as its base, featuring activities like strikes, which are linear missions with a simple get to the end and fight a boss structure, which usually takes about 3 to 10 minutes at best. But then there are activities like raids, for example, where you're required to grab a team of 6 of your best friends or complete fucking strangers and tackle on some of the most sophisticated game design elements to ever be seen in a first-person shooter. But then there's alternative modes like Crucible, which is PvP mode for those who like suffering. Then there's Gambit for those who like to cause suffering. Into the Light introduced a firefight mode called Onslaught, where you have 10 waves to fend off enemies from destroying the World Trade Center. Or you can take on the 50 wave option for the truly patriotic. And to put all of this simply, Onslaught is really just fun. Yep, it's just fun. The difficulty is fine-tuned. There's lots of enemies, but it's not overwhelming or unfair. It increases in difficulty as expected, but doesn't do any difficulty spikes like some other games. The amount of upgrades you can do per wave with stuff like turrets, decoys, tripwires feels really balanced and well-paced. Additionally, for those who do take time into fine-tuning their build, as in what combinations and mods you use with certain weapons and their perks attached, this is the best place to just get in and test your new optimization machine. Gone are the days of finishing designing your perfect enemy obliterators or warlock just to load into a fucking strike and see your teammates kill everything right in front of you, and spamming the emote button like they carried you to the top of Mount Doom or something. This is honestly the most fun I've had as a casual Destiny player since The Taken King. And for those that don't know, Destiny 1 was notorious for being a hollow game, forever feeling like an incomplete package. Yet when The Taken King dropped, it was finally a time where people could safely say that Destiny is good, and not just, oh well, yeah, it's good in some ways. You know, if you have the stomach for the grind and whatnot. And right now, it feels like that all over again, where even though this game has jumped up and down between the adjectives, it's alright, and at least the gunplay is good. It actually is really good. And if you have never played Destiny before, I sincerely advise you give it a try now, because they solved one big problem that plagued the game, which was its new light experience. Or if you were joining for the first time, you'd be given a questline which was fucking terrible. I mean, maybe if you're new, it probably wasn't that bad, but as someone who has ran through it over 20 times, I didn't like it the first time, and certainly not the 20th. However, since this recent update, not only do you have the option to skip this stupid shit, but also claim a starter pack for yourself, as in, instead of learning all the nerd garbage like must stats and armor mods, the game will do it for you, netting you a free exotic and some gear. Plus, at the time of me editing this video, Bungie went even further, giving us access to paid content like Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and the Witch Queen, including the seasons around these as well, all for free to play for a limited time and still keeping whatever you unlocked through this time, including the season pass content. Now, every time a new player gets into D2, I see them struggle with knowing what to do, and to be fair, that really hasn't changed all that much. But don't worry, Grasshopper, I will be guiding Moonlight for today. Launch the game. A cutscene will likely play. You can skip it unless you're some type of nerd. That's okay. I am. Immediately go to settings and turn off dialogue. Trust me, it's worth it. Finish this level until cutscene, skip cutscene, rinse and repeat. Okay, you're in orbit. Destiny has 2 menus. I don't know their technical terms, so we'll just say main menu and director menu. In your main menu, you can view your character page, which is your currently equipped weapons and armor. In every slot, you can have a maximum of 9, and whatever you're using right now. I usually leave 1 to 3 slots open so that when something drops in world and I pick it up, I can view it right away, and as opposed to, say, having the 9 slots taken and having to go find in your postmaster later, which requires going to social spaces. Next, you have your inventory screen. You can ignore this until it's about to be full. Good luck, lol. Okay, now it's director menu time. As the name implies, it's what you'll use for when you want to do something. Want to go to the moon? Clicky clicky. Then clicky these things and then launch. Want to leave the moon? Pull out your ghost and hold down this button. Now you're back, but this isn't Destiny 1 anymore. We don't return to orbit, we just go straight into next thing. Open director, want to play some strikes? Go to the Vanguard thing up here, and do this and bam. But wait, we're only playing and not gaining extra rewards. To do that, you'll need to go to the main social space, the tower, and talk to the vendors. If you want extra stuff while doing strikes, talk to the blue man. How about for PvP? Talk to the white man. What about for Gambit? Talk to drug dealer. Oh, items you gained during activities but you forgot to dismantle the shit you don't like, so now you headed to the tower to pick the new thing up? Well, before you do that, go to your vault and then open your character page, getting clicky on the things you want to store for later. This is the part where I'll scold you if I don't see you lock your favorite weapons. If they're blues, get ready to dismantle them, because it's all about them purples. As for armor, same deal. You can keep all your blues until you're starting to get purples. And as for the yellows, don't delete the yellows unless you really know what you're doing, pal. Now that we did that, head on over to Mr. Robot. He's got your stuff. But don't let it get too full, or else the oldest thing that dropped will be sent
into the Doom Dimension!
Now, how about those purple rocks that you picked up? Those are viewable from your inventory menu. To decrypt them, come over to this guy. He's got you covered. Just click that shit and bam, and look at that. That's really the basics. If you want to know how your day should go, start out by grabbing some Vanguard bounties, running some strikes, and then when you get higher number, use these upgrade modules, and take whatever gear you like the most, usually for stats. Don't worry, you only really need to think about this later on. For now, just use what you like. And don't delete whatever has a bigger number. But guess what, guys? During this Into the Light event, you don't even need to grind for higher levels. Just go to the Hall of Champions, grab all this shit, and put it on. Now, Destiny is a game for fashionistas, so you'll need to know how to look good. If you've ever heard of transmog systems in MMOs, it's here too. For that, you'll need to run this mission on your robot. Then once you rank 5 or whatever, you should be able to talk to My Life as a Teenage Robot and gain the quest and be able to get the synth weave and do all this loom bullshit. Basically, just follow along. I'm not going to help you this far. But once you're able to transmog, whatever you obtain, whether it's a piece of gear or whatever, it should be able to be turned into an ornament, and you can apply this on top of whatever legendary gear you have in the moment. However, it won't work on exotic gear. You'll need to buy ornaments with real money for that shit. Yeah, I know. So don't give in to people having to say you have to use a certain exotic. Fashion is the most important. I will die on this hill. Now, I will need to address the elephant in the room. Go to your directory and view the store page. Ignore most of this shit. Every week the Bright Dust sections rotate. Be on the lookout for any cosmetics you want from websites like Today in Destiny. You'll want to stack up on Bright Dust, and leading up to the release of the final shape, you can claim free 7 on Bright Dust each week. Don't forget to do so. Here you can find emotes, ornaments, shaders, transmat ships, etc. All the fancy stuff that you'd normally be able to get with real world cash. So instead of being a whale, save up Bright Dust by playing the game, but if you really can't help yourself, you'd be looking for a currency called silver, which is Destiny's take on V-Bucks. Now, I want you to go and look into the archive section and move a couple of pages and claim this year 1 shader bundle for a shit ton of glimmer. It's worth it. Now you can color your guns and armor. And with that, this concludes the Destiny New Light tutorial by Katress. In conclusion, if you are ever considering giving Destiny 2 a try, now is the best time. Reach to the community by finding LFG Discords if you need some people to help you. Otherwise, feel free to use this comment section to look for some people willing to group up. I'd love to see some new lights looking for advice, and I will be watching closely to help as much as I can. I'm not the most experienced or knowledgeable about this game, so please forgive me, but I would love to help anyone who needs it. That's all for today. This is Katress.